Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. Double or Nothing is in the books and we are on the road to, well, a couple of actual shows. We have a Battle of Belts coming up on the 7th of May, and then just after that we have Blood and Guts before heading into Allin, Texas, and then the Battle of Los Angeles. So some good shows coming up that I'm really looking forward to. I'm on the fence regarding a brand split. I think I probably will go towards that, but if anything, that will be probably after All-In, just a proper reset. And I'm talking about all that. It'll not be long until we start the Owen Hart Foundation tournament as well. So lots of stuff on the horizon, but we have to clear off the aftermath of Double or Nothing. It's such a bloated roster that only half of it gets covered here, and then hopefully the rest, the next couple of shows in this episode, which will include, of course, Collision, Rampage, and Shockwave. So, let's just dive straight in to AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, the 28th of May, 2025. So we're in the DC Armory, so we're in Washington, DC. And I've got a promo from Bryan Danielson. Man, does it feel great to be back home in the great state of Washington. And boy, despite going a 60-minute match with Utah, who was pretty game, to be fair, I feel fantastic. So tonight I'm in a mood to usher a few challenges. Am I crazy? Probably, but it's only because of the energy the AEW and the AEW fans bring me. So first of all, I want to address the fact we have less than a month's time, that in this war, the event that happens in less than a month's time, that this war has run for a while now, we must reach its near conclusion. I want my team AEW to battle against Jon Moxley's Death Riders in Blood and Guts. A true match of violence that can see this battle come to an end. Mox, I look forward to your answer. So basically setting up Team AEW versus the Death Riders in Blood and Guts. As for tonight, as I said, I went through near 60 minutes, and tonight I want more. Not quite 60 tonight, but I want a good war. So who better to face in our home state than Darby Allin? Darby Allin then comes out. Bryan, I didn't quite go 60 minutes, but I did go through an hellacious ladder match for the TNT Championship. But like you, I love this state, our state, and I can't think of anything else I'd rather do than face you in front of our people, so I accept. Also, it's funny you mentioned Blood and Guts and the war with the Death Riders. I was in this war and I'd end up doing other battles, but if you need me, if it's what it takes, I can help with Blood and Guts as well to save AEW. There's a reason why we're doing this, and hopefully over the next couple of episodes it does make sense. In fact, I'll probably explain it in the Dynamite, truth be told. So it sets up our main event, Darby Allin, Bryan Danielson, aka I want to try and push as big a main event as I can to get to the next level, and hope that we can obviously gain pop, and then that can obviously help our wrestlers, and then we can get closer to those bigger match-up ratings. Because we're doing a challenge here. I'm trying to get all these achievements, and the ones that I can cover with AEW, I need to start hitting them very, very soon. Well, of course, attaining a storyline element to it. But 79 sets up, as I say, the main event, and yeah, we've got our main event sorted, and our next pay-per-view sorted. Our main event for that, obviously, Blood and Guts, because Battle of the Belts is just a 1 hour special, which we'll cover soon. Opening contest of the evening was a decent matchup that saw Ricochet defeat Chris Jericho in 11:04 with a 6:30 splash. This one gathered a 68 segment. Ricochet's 74 to Jericho's 53. Ricochet still foreshadowing a heel turn, and despite us now being pretty much 8 months into the save, Jericho's still being penalised for being in extremely poor form. This is a long run for him, but Ricochet picks up the win. It's a pretty convincing victory over Jericho, and Ricochet even has a little bit of smugness on his face. You see him kind of mouthing to Jericho, well man, you really can't hang at this level. Jericho looks absolutely devastated. He's alone out there, and he's without the help of Undeniable. So a 53 segment for that one. Be interesting to see where that leads to. We then had a hype package. She's beautiful, she's sexy, she's luscious, she's true elegance. It's a true women's athlete. She's debuting next. It's Ash by Elegance, and that was a 35 segment. Her arrogant heel gimmick got an initial rating of great. So, because this is really one of the only saves I do, I want to try a few things. And one of those things is I want to see how much we can get someone over just using sex appeal in this type of product. Nothing else. literally just going to do lots of angles. More so probably on the lesser shows, but I just felt like this walked into what I wanted to do. So she's debuting, and she's in action next. And in true fashion, because of her telling, it's a extremely short matchup where Jamie Hayter decimates her in 4 minutes 40 with a curb stomp. Made it storytelling. Overall, got a 50. Jamie carried a 63 performance to Ash's 37. So we know for a fact she's not going to get over in ring. But as I say, we'll see if, even though she keeps losing, if that sex appeal can get her over. And then obviously, if it works, you can then blend that to an angle down the line. So I'm intrigued to see it. It lets me test a few things and see what works and what doesn't work in TW. Because there's still a lot to learn. Playing these games for a while, and I still feel there's a lot to learn. That's a wee bit gone. This one was a good matchup. Kenny Omega defeats Buddy Matthews in 12:02 with a one-winged angel. This match was designed to steal the show, and Kenny makes his 8th defence of the Continental Championship. God, it's 8 defences already. Sadly, Kenny was really off his game. They only brought a 69. Buddy with a 64. I think Kenny would have been high 70s, which is quite worrying. You'd want Kenny in the 80s because, best bout machine, but yeah, I thought these two would hit out the park. I thought this was a good match to put for the fans, but yeah, just a 68 between these two. Then moved on to a bout that had some great wrestling and good heat. I had Nick Wayne defeat Claudio Castagnoli in 11:42 by pinfall, following a distraction from Sami Zayn. This matchup was designed to steal the show as well. So the reason for this one is Claudio was another one that wanted to put Nick over as a promise. I do have a few others that want to put Nick over. Sadly, one of them is Okada, and I don't know how I can connect it storyline wise, and it's the matter of 4 weeks. It's the problem. There's a lot of guys that are doing great stuff. I want to put people over, but I might get like one fluke victory over Okada just by an OC distraction or something. But yeah, as I say, people are putting promises in for Nick Wayne. I'm happy to do it. Get him over. Claudio can obviously utilise matches with likes of Sammy, etc., and he'll get that overness back. But I obviously need to build for the future. And any promise I get, I'll try and have him get fluky wins. So obviously he beats Claudio here. He's beat Jericho, I think, before. He's beat Samoa Joe. He's beat Roderick Strong. A lot of them have been very kind to Nick Wayne. And yeah, we'll try and utilise that. But 70 performance, 74 for Claudio, results in a 75 rated match. Good stuff. Next up, little hype package. He returned last Sunday at Double or Nothing in the ladder match as a former Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. That got a 49. Obviously, was very rusty in that ladder match, so we'll give him matches very, very quickly to try and get rid of that rust, but obviously it'll take time. So, extremely short matchup. Bandito defeats Bryan Keith in 5:26 with the Revolution Fly. Did I make this wild brawl? I thought I made this wild brawl. I did. I just didn't say because it was short, probably. But I was just to get rid of that. These are both deemed as pre-show workers, so we need to build Bandito up. Obviously, the Wild Brawl doesn't suit his style. That's fine. I had to sacrifice one match, and it results just in a 24 segment. But I picked up the win, so there's that. I wonder as well if the 24 wouldn't be just because of that, but because of Wild Brawl only going 5 minutes. No, just rusty and penalised for trying to go all out. Fair enough. So we have an interview next with the remarkable Renee Paquette alongside Kazuchika Okada in the back. Okada, on Sunday we saw you return to confront Orange Cassidy. Why do you feel the time was right? Kazuchika Okada says, I came back on Sunday because the time was right. This company is supposed to be elite. Yet here we have our champion as some bitch who walks around with his hands in his pockets. I will show the world why I'm the Rainmaker, why I'm the best talent in this company, when I challenge Orange Cassidy for the AEW World Championship at Blood and Guts and lead AEW to the elite generation. So 74 for the promo from Okada on OC. And yeah, just to say, we've moved Okada into the Then Now Forever storyline, so there was heat. But yeah, ideally both of these matches, Blood and Guts has that, and the Blood and Guts match, which should be pretty good stuff. Another good matchup, Becky Quinn taking on Serena Deeb, and Becky wins in 9:38 with the hard knocks. So a good debut win on Dynamite. Obviously she won at the pay-per-view against Mercedes Moné. 67 for the wrestling, a 71 overall though. Becky with a 73 to Serena's 60. So delighted with that one. Oh wow. Did not expect that. I don't even remember if I done her as cutting a promo or... I gave her time, which is good. That's probably why it was so high, because I tend to do promos under 4 minutes, but I gave her like 6 minutes because she's a big star, but yeah, that worked. 87, so main event delivers, we're on for a good time. But she says basically, what a whirlwind of a week it's been for me. I have to say it's been great to be able to consider myself all elite. I had a great battle tonight with Serena and of course on Sunday against Mercedes. But I'm truly ready to test myself against all these new talents all around the world here in AEW. So many fresh matchups, and hopefully I can cement my legacy as one of the greatest women workers of all time. I think that's going to be my aim, is just to give Becky like all these like massive matches against wrestlers she's never faced before, and like proper like give her like a Hall of Fame. Like, she's already got a Hall of Fame career. Like, I'm a massive like fan of Becky Lynch. I'll not deny that. Like, when people in the like IWC were like giving her shit, I'm like, hey, mate, she's putting people over. But like the transformation for her into the man was just fantastic. But again, quite enjoyed her for the very start in NXT. But I feel like if I can give her a lot of accolades here, a lot of big matches, like with great ratings, then I'll truly be happy with that. Because I think with her age as well, at 37 I think in game, she's not too long off retirement. But 87, we'll utilise her what we can, and that's fantastic. And the main event had superb wrestling and great heat as Bryan Danielson defeats Darby Allin in 22:04 with a running knee. Or what if I forgot the name of his knee? I can't remember. My bad. Anyway, wrestling was 82, crowd 62, segment 84, so that's fantastic. The creative finish obviously helped as well. 88 for Bryan, 76 for Darby. I'm assuming we'd probably lose a few points for babyface versus babyface. Yep, that's fair enough. Both of them obviously penalised for physical condition. Interestingly there, we don't get anything in towards like no storyline involved, which I find intriguing. But yeah, I mean, there's a purpose to it, and as I say, 84 main event, 87 best promo. I'm encouraged by that. But there is one more segment to go. Bryan Danielson picks up the win, and we hear the music of John Moxley and the Death Riders, and it's a 4-on-1 assault on Bryan. It's quite similar to Wrestle Dream. Darby tries to make the save, but it just takes a little less of a beating than Bryan. We hear a few words from Mox as well. Bryan, whilst I accept your challenge of the fight inside Blood and Guts, let's be honest, you ain't going to make it there. So, they're beaten down by Claudio, by Mox, by Pac, and by Yuta. The segment gets a 60, the storyline advances against Heat. Claudio looked good, Mox looked good, and the commentary lifted this segment. So I may as well just come clear of why this segment is taking place. So the plan was always Blood and Guts, in the Blood and Guts match. I always seem to find in mods, especially at RWC, that Bryan won't morally compete in these matches. So I tested it at Double or Nothing, and that proved to be true. So I thought, right, I'm still going ahead with my plan, but let's write him out the match. So that is our way of saying, this feud continues, Bryan's out the match, and that's how Darby slots in. I'm actually thinking about these things. But yeah, so that's the plan. Bryan will basically be missing for a few weeks, and yeah, that's going to be painful because he drives our main events to take good ratings, but it allows me to work on other programs. Because you look at the stars that have missed this show: Ospreay, Swerve is just 2, MGF, Adam Cole, the list goes on. Takeshita can easily just do Takeshita Open challenges and no game pop. But yeah, so that's the plan there in the main event. I'll probably do like another heated feud, so someone aligns with each team, so we get the 5v5. Unless I can do 4v4, I'll see how it works out. I've not actually looked, but that's the plan. We increased our popularity in 8 regions with 81. I thought we'd get higher than that. To be fair, I know those two are like far ahead of everything else, but I wonder if that will. I won't find out till after Rampage if we are close to that 77. Crowds were disappointed that the storyline. I hate doing matches that relate to storylines. It's like both of these build up and then come ahead at the pay-per-view, look at the angles, do the stories, and just have good matches. Man, WWE fans would hate me for that. Locker room incidents between shows, none. Time for Rampage. So an episode of Rampage saw some more over workers performing, but still workers I feel need to develop. Sammy Guevara defeated Ariya Daivari in a 55. We had some promo time with Harley Cameron, 54. We had a little bit of promo time as well, I would say, with Anna Jay, which was a 58. She's someone we're going to put a lot of faith in, give her a lot of matches and segments to try and aid her development. Yuka Sakazaki defeated Thekla, which was a 52. It was actually a pretty good match, just the overness killed them. Some words from Private Party was a 42. The tag team of Bandido and Commander defeated the Workhorsemen, which is a 51. Just vital to get Bandido as many matches as possible so he gets over the rustiness. And I had some words from Don Callis talking about Konosuke Takeshita, that was a 66, which led to Takeshita defeating Rocky Romero in our main event, which was an 80. Overall, 74, pretty decent for a Rampage, obviously carried by Takeshita. Let's move on to Collision. So we're in the Cincinnati Public Auditorium, and we start off with a rundown of the show from Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness. Tony also confirms that they have small news on Bryan Danielson, whilst they await the full extent of his injuries from the beatdown from the Death Riders. They expect him to be out of action for around 4 weeks, thus missing Blood and Guts. So 67, covering our ass of how Danielson can't participate in the match. And yeah, that updates the fans. First up, we get the Hanger out for some words. It's not a great promo, 66. I was expecting a bit better. He says, what happened last Sunday was an injustice, nothing more than a fluke. We went all the way to the wire and Will Ospreay got lucky. I cannot under any circumstances have anyone derail my momentum as I get my AEW World Championship back. Tonight I want someone to come out from the back right now, someone who wants to go to war, someone who's ready to fight. So 66, the storyline advances, losing heat. Hangman improvised well, which I was kind of hoping would maybe push it towards the 70-80 mark, but not to be. The sirens go off, we hear a dog barking, and the acceptance of the challenge is Tomohiro Ishii. So the Stone Cold Pitbull is in the area. He's due to retire pretty shortly, so we'll give him a wee quick run in AEW before he calls it quits, and that was also a 66. And their matchup was well brought. Had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Hangman defeats Ishii in 6:51 with a Buckshot Lariat. I think that's why it's kind of capped at 70. A very quick match, but it was going to be a good brawl. Ishii with a 71 and Hangman with a very respectable 80. But the Hanger gets back to winning ways. We then had a short segment where we had just Ash by Elegance decide to walk out. She flaunts and then she walks to the back trying to get over. So again, just trying that out to see if she gets over without winning any matches. And that segment was a 36. We then had tag team action, and about had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Death Riders team of Pac and Wheeler Yuta defeated Top Flight in 8:59 when Pac pinned Darius Martin with a Black Arrow and made this steal the show. Danny's just struggling so much. 53, really off his game here. Yeah, not particularly great. Yuta with impressive 73, Pac with a 77 is a lot better. The storyline for Bryan's final run advances and gains heat, because obviously Pac and Yuta are involved. But yeah, Death Riders get a bit of momentum here. Pac's needing victories, and hopefully that's him starting to move in the right direction. Wow, this flopped as well. It's a promo from John Moxley, but it's just basically a lot of people are kind of standing around in non-speaking capacities. That's maybe why it was dragged down. But Mox in his hometown of Cincinnati, you see, it's such a shame. You see, to know that Britt O'Brien wasn't quite up to the task of making it to Blood and Guts. 4 weeks pretty much takes you out until July. Unlucky man. Maybe one day you'll get your hands on me. As for now, we're weeks away from Gargano, Moriarty, Zayn, and Darby Allin being 4 of the 5 men who will get systematically decimated and broken down piece by my Death Riders. Now you're right, I said 5v5, so I'm sure they'll need one guy. And I'm sure we'll find the right guy to make it 5 versus 5. Because that is how the Blood and Guts operates. So obviously there's 4 in the Death Riders at the moment. But just remember, tonight's main event is Darby and Claudio. And it would be a shame if Claudio had to make sure that Darby doesn't make it either. Yeah, 53 is pretty good. Storyline advances. Moxley's performance was good. I'm assuming it's just some of the overness wasn't particularly great. But yeah, I was hoping that would carry. So we really need a big main event here. Or we're losing Pop, because biggest promo is a 66 so far. But then another promo. This was Anna Jay talking alongside the remarkable Renee Paquette. Her performance was fantastic, good to see. She says, tonight Anna Jay, after an impressive showing in the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, you battle a fantastic talent in the form of Becky Quinn. Anna says, Yes, Renee, I felt like the tournament was good for my development, and I felt like my trip to Japan, this will all help me in the long run, such as matches like tonight. Being in there with an elite talent like Becky will be a great learning experience. But I know my time is going to come, and that tonight could be that time. So I will give it my all, and I will welcome Becky to the show. So, a 61. Pretty good stuff for Anna. As I say, it's always going to be a build up with her. She's still young enough for a lot of development. And yeah, we have Anna J. Becky Quinn next. These two had good heat in their wrestling match. Decent wrestling. Becky picks up the win over Anna J in 9:02 with the hard knocks. Sadly though, these two didn't click. It made it a little bit awkward. So it is a 65 segment, and yeah, just a 40 for Anna J. Not fantastic. Shame they don't click, because it means it's probably a feud you can't really visit in the future. We then had a match I should have probably put as my main event, but about had some great wrestling and good heat. Io Shirai defeats Chris Statlander in 10:33 with the moonsault press. 89 from Io, 69 from Chris, 80 for the segment overall. You wonder how good she could go if I gave them more than 10 minutes, just because of the amount of matches we had, but fantastic stuff. We then see Chris in the back after her defeat, and she's having a once-over by the medical team, and she's approached by Becky Quinn. Unlucky out there. There's no shame in a defeat to Io. She's a fantastic performer, and with time, just keep at it. Becky turns her back to leave, and Chris just flips. She throws Becky all over the place before she screams, "We do not need your kind here." And that is a 70. Basically, we're going to go Becky versus Chris. I think that could be a great feud. And as I say, good, at least we get a segment that's at least in the 70s. We probably need Darby and Claudio to do mental stuff, but really happy that they've been able to carry that. Next up, decent matchup. FTR defeat the Workhorsemen in 8:21. Cash Wheeler pinning Anthony Henry with a big rig. Made it storytelling is just to give FTR some victories to keep their morale in a positive way. Nothing really more to that, to be honest. Next up, during the upcoming matchup of the Aussie Open against the Righteous, we see the Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong taking a keen interest in the match. That was a 55, so just basically the match will take place and it'll cut to them kind of going, alright, interesting, looking at the monitor. That matchup was pretty good. Good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. Aussie Open defeat the Righteous in 11:29 when Kyle Fletcher pinned Vincent with a Coriolis. Kyle Fletcher head and shoulders above the rest with a 88. Mark Davis still respectable 77 considering he was off his game. And a 75 is pretty solid stuff. And in our main event, oh, we are losing Pop badly here. Oh, that's their worst match of the 4, I think. Good matchup. Darby Allin defeats Claudio Castagnoli in 20:03 with the coffin drop. A 70 for wrestling, 62 for the crowd, 73 segment, 76 for Darby, 64 for former champ Claudio. Is not great. We're so close to big that I just felt like this is a show we can do it, and it's backfired. I've obviously went to tell the stories, and yeah, it's not been our strongest show in the world, that's for sure. We finished the show. Darby Allin promo. Mox, you can try and catch me, you can try and beat me down, but no matter what condition I am in, I'll be at Blood and Guts. For a better AEW, we no longer need the Death Riders to be around, and I'll ensure that I do Bryan proud, I ensure I do the AEW proud, I ensure I do the fans proud, and I'll ensure we turn up with 5 men to take you down. So a 65. 72 is not as bad as I expected to be. I was thinking we were going to be under 70, but we do lose Pop in 15 regions. So hopefully, pretty much going to have to put a really strong shockwave out, and hopefully we can build up from there. But it's weird because there's a lot of shows where I've maybe not had as many of them. See, to be fair, I put Chris Statlander, Io Shirai's main event. That show probably doesn't lose Pop, probably doesn't gain any, just stays flat, maybe about a 77, but you never know what's going to take place. So finish the show, locker room incidents before Shockwave, none, I'll book that. And we'll move on to Shockwave. It's the fastest 90 minutes in wrestling as we have Shockwave. We claim of Rampage there, and it's fastest 1 hour, but yeah, 90 minutes. It's only 10 segments, quite a few matches, quite a few short promos, but I like to think tell a few stories. So I started off straight with a decent Wild Brawl, because I needed a Wild Brawl matchup. MJF picking up the win in Rocky Romero in 707 by pinfall. Not playing to his strengths at all, MJF, but it gives him some positive momentum. And I want to put him in there with guys that can work really well, because that'll at least help develop his attributes going forward as well. Because I feel like the wrestling stuff isn't getting great ratings from MJF, but both guys are 59 for the wrestling, and a 64 for the segment. MJF picks up the win, and he just starts moving to the crowd. How easy was that? What a loser. We then see Wardlow and Ricky Starks at the top of the ramp, just nodding in approval. The camera pans to MJF, who's like, "What? Don't look at me. I don't know why they're here." Very, very confused. So, 67. Why did Wardlow help MJF? Remains to be seen as we move on. Next up with a decent matchup, they saw Masha Slamovich defeat Mina Shirakawa in 940 by pinfall with a diving headbutt. This was a rematch for one of the matches that took place in the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix. 56 for Mina, a 70 for Masha. I said it was quite high on her. And overall this segment gathered a 69. So Masha picks up the win. She cuts a very short promo on the mic. I actually had to look this up because I wasn't actually sure if Masha was fluent in English or how it was. Basically the evidence I found at the time, so it was an old promo, was quite broken and then a bit in Russian. So I just thought, strong accent, Battle of the Belts, Athena, TBS title. So a 47. So the plan for that is Masha Slamovich versus Athena, Aussie Open versus the Kings of the Black Throne, and there is another match which I can't remember off the top of my head, but the 3 matches are pretty much booked in for that show because it is only a 1 hour show, so hopefully too many people don't get upset because I say it isn't a pay-per-view, it's just a special. But 47 for that. We then had a decent matchup as the Kings of the Black Throne gained some momentum by defeating Daddy Magic, Matt Menard and Cool Hand Angelo Parker. In 721, Malachi Black pinned Parker with Dante's Inferno. Great performance here from Brody King at 77 from him, as the matchup itself is a 67. We then had a decent matchup, quite a quick one here just to tell a story, but again just to help with the development. Hook defeats Brian Keith in 531 with Red Rum. Simple, effective, and a 63. I think you can have Keith lose matches just to lose momentum and we hopefully just keep building up Hook. We then had the little segment, we see Ricky Starks and Wardlow leaving the arena, and as they head near the exit, they walk past Ricochet, who's heading to the ring. Ricochet just looks at them, no issue, actually a little bit smugly. That was a 65 for that segment. Ricochet's match was okay. Decent matchup, Ricochet defeats Jay Lethal in 946 with a 630 splash. Made them steal the show. Sadly, Jay Lethal was really off his game, down to a 48 performance. Ricochet with a pretty high 78. And that gave us a 71. Leads us to our main event. We've got a promo from Daniel Garcia as he's about to battle Kazuchika Okada. Now trust me, I'm frustrated that I've missed MJF earlier and Wardlow due to what happened at Double or Nothing. But I had to focus on this upcoming match. It's a massive match where a win for me could see me enter the world title picture. Let's not forget this is Kazuchika Okada, a multiple-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, multiple-time G1 winner, and a win for me would be the platform I need to move to main event level. Rainmaker, I'll make it rain by putting you in a world of pain. I struggled for what I could use as an insult, but 66 for the segment. Garcia is getting a little bit stale, but I quite like to see how Garcia and Okada does in the main event. It's not been a strong show in terms of ratings, so hopefully this can do the job. I'm at a stage where I feel a lot of stuff's connecting storyline wise, but they aren't quite at the level I need them to be at to get the company a bit higher, which in turn would obviously help them. So we need this to deliver and then a main event segment. Right, phase 1 is fine. So about that had some great wrestling and good heat. Okada defeats Garcia in 22:07 with the Rainmaker and giving all my main events good time. Obviously Okada's going to the main event of Blood and Guts, so clearly he needs to be winning matches. 75 for the wrestling, 60 for the crowd, 81 for the segment, 66 for Garcia, 85 for Okada. It's all down to this main segment, whether we gain pop or not. That's 79, not too bad. So it was simple. I just had Okada pick up the win. He's selling his minor knocks, from the matchup. Poses to the crowd. OC heads to the top of the ramp, and he just gives them the thumbs up. The Orange Cassidy work in the crowd is always a high 80, so I felt like we need to tap into that to get to the next level. So 79, just playing up Okada Cassidy to take place at Blood and Guts. So the show itself is a 78, increased their popularity in 2 regions, so we still need it to be a bit higher. But you can see there, with Shockwave, we are using it kind of as like a B plus show, because it's not obviously the A show, but we are still like losing pop and gaining pop. But I feel like we need strong matches, but we do need to develop some talents as well and build up momentum. So again, there's worried about the lack of storylines being furthered. As I say, I prefer to do it not in matches and through angles, and then the big matches when they come ahead for the storyline is what it is. But overall, 78 is not too bad. We'll jump 6 million profit. We spent the 30 odd million to make the coverage in America even bigger, and it's just printing money. We're going to make it back within about 3 weeks. So, aye, networks are still overpowered in this. Popularity 76. So obviously we lost that through Collision, but we are so close to getting to the next level. And obviously no media scrum. We'll jump to the main screen as we enter June, and we'll see what's happening. So remember, the next video upcoming will be Dynamite and Rampage, and then I'll have a separate video that will be Collision, Shockwave, and Battle of the Belts all in one. So basically that's going to be 3 shows we're recording in one night, 4 hours worth of television. So we'll get Teddy DiBiase set to retire. Titus O'Neil is in a feud with Elektra Lopez backstage. Natalia's winning online plaudits. Fuka is going to stay with Marigold. WWE had King Queen of the Ring. Don't think the AI were programmed to have the tournament though. So they're only getting 81s, but Randy versus KO was the main event, although to be fair, Cody's getting some good ratings into the 80s. Shockwave really struck gold with the show, which is good to see. Collision, yeah, so we're at a good level, we just need a wee bit higher. Anything else here that directly affects us? I don't think so. Feared along, oh no. Rocky Romero needs a break. We only gave you a couple of matches, Rocky, but there you go. David Richards retires. The Headbangers are no more as Thrasher retires. And we complete the contract negotiation extension of the Bastard Pack. So we're looking at bringing a few people. Kevin Steen, Bozilla for developmental. I know it's not realistic, but you got to do Young Bucks New Day at one point. I could have got Big E as well, but the nature of the contract, because he's retired, just wouldn't work out. I'm trying to extend Rey Fenix, which is ironic. I don't even know how this would have been when this goes live, but it just seems very toxic. And a late extension for Chris Daniels, who retires in a couple of months as well. Daivari, I am probably actually going to keep, because we've used him a wee bit in the sense of he has 1 win in 8, which was with Ring of Honor against Jack Jameson. But he's been putting people over, and to be fair, you do need some of those workers. So handshake deal, 1 year deal, that's fine. Let some work wherever he wants to work. Their offer's not being considered. I'm not going to go any higher. I'm giving them a longer deal and a wee bit shorter wages. So we'll see if they do actually accept that. Collision, 1 million viewers. Shockwave, 9.84. As I say, it is because of the size of the network we've got now. And Rocky Romero and Darby Allin have a grueling schedule. That's fine. I'll keep Darby and Conwell before Blood and Guts. Because if we go to events, you can see Battle of Belts is this upcoming Saturday, and it's 2 weeks' time for Blood and Guts. So we need to start putting the rest of the card together for that show. So that's going to be it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next episode. Will just be Dynamite and Rampage. So we'll basically we'll book Dynamite, we'll go through Rampage, we'll link see what headlines there is, and then we'll do the 3 shows in the one. And then a full week of television, and then the pay-per-view. So lots to think about. I still need to think who's going to be in both of the Blood and Guts teams. So let's hope we can nail out the part. But as always, thanks for watching. A wee thumbs up is deeply appreciated. Remember to check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net. And until next time, Maxwell, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.